Hello everyone, I'm Linda Fabry and this is the Intuitive Painting the group session for the month of September. So I'm so excited. So a couple things we're going to do. If you've never seen an intuitive painting session, I'm going to turn the camera and you're going to be able to see me paint live for about an hour. And early birds get to choose all the colors for the painting. I'll show you that in a second. And then we're going to create a painting much like this one here. This is the one we created for August. And this then became a new card in the Sacred Journey deck, which is available on my site. And then as a patron, so I have a Patreon account that you can become a member and you get discounts on all the cards. So this is an evolving deck. This is the painting we created last month. We're going to do one just like this, and then it'll become a new card. And I'll show you the deck real quick, and I'm going to draw the winner. That painting gets given away to one of the patrons that have decided to join me on Patreon. So I'm excited. I've got that. This is the full Sacred Journey deck. It's hand stamped with the Flower of Life. It's gilded. It's a standard tarot size, so it's a nice compact deck. And the starter deck comes with 33 cards, and then I'll be releasing 10 or 20 card like kind of booster packs throughout the year. So those are exciting. So I think I'll pull a few of those cards. But first things first, I really want to announce the winner. So I have just starting out Patreon, so we've just a few. So your chances are really good right now to get a free painting. So here's all the entries. And I'm just going to pick one. And we'll see who wins. Da, da, da. DJ! Congratulations! You're the winner of last month's painting. So if you'd like to enter to win the painting we're going to create tonight, there's a link in the description. You can check out Patreon. So give me just a second and let me get comments up. If you're here, say hi. If you'd like a card, I'm going to pull about maybe 5 cards or so. Let me know that you can hear me all right. Hi, Feather. All right, so I am seeing, I'm kind of using a new system, so get a new setup here. So let me know if you'd like a card. I'll pull a few cards while we're getting started. There it is. All right. Alright, so hello everyone. Yeah, say hi if you're coming in. The first couple people to comment, I'll pull cards for. We'll just kind of get the intuitive creative juices going. Hey Toby. Alright, so this one's for Feather. Oh, Feather, I've pulled this month's card, which is Release and Receive. And that's from the original painting that we created. This was August's message. And it says, release the burden of beliefs that no longer serve you. Express yourself to clear a path between head and heart. And allow the manifestations you desire to flow. It's all right there waiting for you to open up. So let it in by letting go. So one for Toby. All right, Toby, Metamorphosis. This feels appropriate. Congratulations again on your accomplishment. A new you is emerging. Shake loose the old beliefs you are wrapped up in. Release them with gratitude. They weren't wrong. You just don't need them anymore. So Metamorphosis for Toby. And Tiffany. Hi, Tiffany. All right. How's my volume? Can y'all hear me okay? All right, so this one is for Tiffany. Oh, jumped right out. Self-reflection. So this card, there's 2 of these cards in the deck. They mirror each other. They have the same message, but they mirror each other. And what it's saying is, when you reach out from the depths of your soul or peer into the mirror of wonder and curiosity, what returns is not merely an echo of self, but a calling. The divine is always returning our gaze, yet we often dismiss it as our own reflection. So this card comes up when often we're doing self-reflective work and we're like, oh, that's just in my head. But a lot of times that's the voice of the divine sounds just like our own. That's for Tiffany. All right. Yeah, if you're watching, say hi and let me know. I'm going to get the camera turned around and I'll pull one more card if anybody hasn't gotten one yet. So bear with me for a second. We'll get painting. All right. Let's see if I can do this without crashing it. All right. Oh. It's telling me to update my device. I don't want to update my device. I just want to rotate it. This is what we need to do. There we go. All right. So this is what, so this is just like an intuitive reading if you booked one privately. We would get together via Zoom and oh, sorry about that. I use two cameras on Zoom, one to look at me and one for the painting. So this is all set up already. Okay. So we've got some colors here. Make sure I got them all in view. Perfect. You're welcome. Thumbs up for volume. Thank you. All right. So I think we got all everything. I just relabeled them. We got a fresh batch of colors. All right. Hi, Olivia. Alright, so here we've got all the colors here, and I'm just going to take a second to get tuned in, and I'd like you all, whoever's watching, just take a minute and just kind of take in what you're seeing there, and let me know what number or color just kind of jumps out at you. So that if you want to participate, you can pick one or two. And just let me know. I gotta write down that DJ one. Okay. And while I'm waiting for it to catch up, I'm gonna pull a card for Olivia, because I said I'd do 5. All right, so this one's for you, Olivia. Oh, I just posted this one today. Embody your awakening. Dance with the fire in your soul. Let yourself feel and set yourself free. So don't be afraid to feel what you feel and go with it. It's it's kind of a feeling of like rebirth, right? Let yourself be awakened. So I see 14 and 28. Give me 1 second, I forgot to share. All right, so, whoa, all right, there's the numbers. 14 15, 28, 23, 4. All right, we got 14 and 2, or 12. I read 12 said 2. It was storming last night, so my puppy kept me up all night. I'm a little bit tired. Okay. 12 and 3. Hey, Karen, you found me. I was just thinking of you when I shared that out. 6 and 20 and 25 and 8. Okay. So I'm going to take 2 more colors. The next 2. Hey, Kimberly. How's it going? Let me just make sure I didn't miss anybody. 6, 20, 12, 3, 22, 13. All right. So we got a nice colorful palette. 16. Hey, Odessa. All right. And move this. 27. They're still coming. I'm going to grab them anyway until I set it up. And 11. Gotcha. Okay. That's it for the colors. Let me get a paper here. Make sure that's I'm recording with my phone, but I'm watching it on my computer, so I'm gonna make sure that there's a little bit of a delay. So make sure I can see everything. All right, close. All right, let's get some of these colors on. So just give me a second. I'm gonna. Okay. And I'm feeling this really wonderful kind of upward motion. And it's coming through really quickly. Like it kind of, it had like a slow start, and then all of a sudden it's like, so it feels like maybe September is going to be that kind of, I feel a little caught off guard. Like, oh, it's September. What happened? Where did that come from? You know? So the energy might kind of take that kind of trajectory where it's like a little bit of a slow start and then and I'm getting these angles too, so it might be, it almost feels like pieces coming together, so that might be a little bit of a theme this month of you know, it's not a complete square or rectangle or whatever, but it's kind of got this open piece, but it feels like if you're starting a jigsaw puzzle and you start with the corners and you're like, oh, okay, I know where that one goes. So it feels like maybe that's kind of what's happening for a lot of people. We're getting a couple of the pieces in place that are real obvious. Finally, we're seeing it and going, oh yeah, that's what that's about. Okay. I've been holding on to this little puzzle piece for a while and now I get it. All right, lots of color, lots of color. And it feels, the energy feels pretty clear and even. I don't feel any major blocks in the dynamic and the collective. I feel like this past month, maybe August, we did a lot of that work of kind of opening things up, clearing things out, and now it's kind of more about seeing what we unearthed and what to do with it. Like, all right, we harvest some stuff. Now what? This green right here reminds me of like the balloon animal balloons. So that feels a little bit like inner child or playfulness. Yeah, real smooth, real soft, smooth, gentle energy this month. And again, that upward motion, also that tall lines feels like strength. Standing tall. Feeling some air element. And these lines that I'm inspired to make, they're like crisscrossing, so it's like some connections being made. But softening them out. And as they crisscross, they make these little squares, which is like about stability and foundational stuff too. All right. I reorganized my studio and I forgot to replace my trash can. Man, oops. Karen's saying all I see is the paint caps. Do you still see it? Let me know. I know there's a little bit of a delay, so maybe it was. Let me stop for a second. Hey, Mary. All right, let me pull up some of this excess here. Get kind of down to the core. That's what I like to think of it. Like I put the paint on and then I pull up a little bit to, well, I mean, for practical reasons, it's easier to paint on when it's drier. But also, it kind of gets down to the core message. I don't know what question I asked you. Only the paint caps. Okay, is everybody seeing the painting? I don't want to mess with it if it's... Yeah, it's coming up the whole painting on my end. I'm not sure what's up with that. Maybe close the app and come back in. I love these colors that y'all chose. And Karen, if it doesn't show up right for you, there'll be a replay too, so hopefully it'll work out. All right, a little bit more. Yeah, the energy is really intense here in the middle. I really enjoy this bright. I'm gonna hold it up so you guys can see. Definitely, somebody mentioned a face on this side. I'm seeing that too. A little bit more of the texture and everything that's going on. And then I'm seeing a face up here too. Lots of guides showing up. I see an outline of a figure here. Okay, so let me just... tune in here. Hey, Dawn. Spoiled. Hey, Becky, thank you. Yeah, it's so what I'm kind of feeling is there's so much to look at, and that may be there are so many different faces and things happening that I almost don't even know where to start. I feel most drawn to this one, but I want to let go of that. I don't want to become so attached, so I kind of want to let go of that attachment and let it and like see what comes up. And so what I do when I feel like it's kind of like any decision making. So I feel like there's so many options, but none of them feel like an absolute hell yes. Like none of them feel like, oh, I have to paint right there. So then what I do is I shift my attention to the colors instead, and I go, okay, well, if all I'm going to do is choose the next color, which color stands out to me? And so that led me to this two. And so I'll start there instead. I'll kind of redirect my attention. So we'll see what these bring. And it's interesting too, I guess I was drawn to these two, and it's like I want to bring up some of this, kind of ground things a little bit, and so that makes sense because that's what I was feeling was a little bit, there's a lot of air and movement energy, and I also see lungs right here. There's a lot of like, whew, lots of stuff going on. And so as I want to bring in this kind of earthy, grounded feeling, and I'm going right into, there are so many faces. Yeah, Julie, this face right here, is that what you're talking about? The darker blue? Or then there's one down here, and there's one over, there's like another here, another one here. And so it's, I almost want to not do any of the faces. Okay, so I'm gonna start on this side. And what I'm really saying is just this. Yellow hands on the right. Oh, like these hands right here? Oh, that's sweet. So I was really feeling this like eyelid here. That was the main draw for me. And I do kind of feel like hands there. And I want to take that purple. What are these hands doing? I see like a knuckle and a thumb. Like it feels like it's Knuckle, two knuckles. Hands are like, they're so challenging to me that I often resist them, but whatever. If it doesn't, I always figure if I start painting something, it doesn't look like what I expected it to look like, then I just turn it into something else. Butterflies are good. So this one, it looks like it's like pinching something, and I just lost my computer. Hold on a second. Hopefully I didn't lose the camera. I see you guys there. All right. Yeah, so it looks like it's holding something or pinching something there. And then now this one, instead of looking like a hand to me, it looks like, I don't know if it's like a horse or... some kind of animal. Dragon just came up for me in my journal. I wonder if it's another dragon. But it feels more like, oh, maybe it is. I don't know. We'll have to see. So I'm going to move over here. And I was really feeling... I'm feeling a butterfly up here and some lungs, and this this diamond shape is really fascinating, and it's so bright. I want to add this blue to the face. So that's what, so when I see that, I'm like, okay, well, what do you want to add? You know, I'm like, well, what do you want me to add here? How do you want me to develop that? And the answer was add blue here. So that's what's going to happen. And this process has really helped me to kind of let go and listen to my intuition. Because if I can do it with art, then I can do it just in my daily life. And it's so risk-free when you're working on a painting, right? Because it's like, whatever. So you know, it's a piece of paper and some paints. It's not, you know, a mortgage or something, you know, some risky thing. I still feel drawn over here. I wonder what that... It almost feels like it kind of comes up like that. I'm almost feeling like eyes, like a dragonfly head. And it's got this movement again, like, which would make sense because it's like that air element. If you're talking to me, I'm not ignoring you. I just haven't, I had to reboot my computer. And I keep feeling like I want to take this deep breath. I don't really know what a dragonfly face looks like, but I feel like that's right. And again, I'm feeling that energy too. Again, like it's like slow, 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 and then ba-bam, go. I was wondering why the blue, and that it kind of makes sense now. It kind of feels right. And definition with the and grounding, so like grounding the dragonfly a little bit. Wow, that brown with that teal and that is a beautiful contrast. And I feel like that's a good reminder for us whenever I'm I don't like to, like, when people tell me that, oh, you need to ground yourself, I'm always like, because it's not fun to me. You know, I like being all up and spinning around like the dragonfly, like all over the place, and you know, action, action. I'm an Aries. I like fiery stuff. But look at this wonderful contrast. If we take some time to really do that grounding, earthing, and taking time, you know, time for, you know, to slow down once in a while, and it gives some structure. Structure's good. All right, let's see. And I'm not feeling the wings yet. I'm like, you know, paused on the wings. It really wanted me to work on the face, the eyes. Again, with the contrast, I love this bright pink with the dark blue. Kind of allowing the dark and light in our life to mingle. Somebody had given an intention. What is it? I wrote it down. Gratitude for the ups and downs, and like lessons and everything, and the a light bulb revealing the purpose. That's so it feels like the dark and the light, like honoring those, honoring the contrast in our lives. That feels like partly what's coming through here. I'm like jumping back and forth to my computer, so bear with me. Yeah, and the brown again. Do dragonflies have noses? What their faces look like, but this is what my dragonfly's face looks like. And it's like coming down in. And I want to put wings in here, but it's like, no, you don't need them yet. You don't need them yet. All right, now I can see comments again. Let me see what people are saying. Hey, Stacy. Stacy says, I believe the grounded of old is an outdated reference. Yes. Oh, thank you. It is cringy. All right, everybody's with me. Yay. Becky says, a big dragon head on the top in purple. Like this one. Yeah, I'm feeling dragon, dragonfly, dragons. That okay. Um, yeah, hands and feet. Yeah, looks like a dog face below the hands. Right in here. Yep. Yes, lots of. I'm feeling Becky. I'm agreeing with you. There's like a child's face here, down here. Definitely feeling inner child. Koi fishes. Yeah, we have fishy show up. Yeah. Alright. They have an oval bubble-like nose. Okay, well, close enough. It's kind of making a face. I just want to add a little blue in here. Ooh, look at that. I don't know if that's showing up on your end too, but full psychedelic dragonfly. I like it. I'm gonna hold it up so maybe it'll show up a little brighter. Yeah. All right. What else? What do you want next? And some trees. Trees in here. And yeah, this one very much. I see a face there. I mean, it's really clear. Well, like their eye would be here, nose, kind of a little bit of a pouty mouth. Maybe that's me when people tell me to ground. I really like this sunlit yellow area. It feels like our personal will. It feels like that solar plexus and the evergreen. Kind of like the evergreen, like it just came up in somebody's portrait, and I want to say like forever young, but like they're youthful, or yeah, like forever young, like our youthful, fun, loving feeling right over here on this side. All right, so this, I was seeing a dragon down here, and now all of a sudden I'm like, okay, now. And yeah, what is it wanting first? I think it's wanting this pink. So you want a really inexpensive paint palette. These little notebooks are fantastic. Because look, you just tear off the page and yeah, I don't have to wash anything. I like things that I don't have to wash. Jewel says, the bottom left looks like a man in the dark blue and almost a ghost-like face with hair on top with blue, like he is holding everything up. Oh, like it almost looks like a mask to me. Right here, like that would be his nose, eyes, and his shoulders or something like that. Yeah, like it's all on his shoulders. Interesting. All right, so I was seeing dragon. Yeah, how about like that? This dragon's kind of hiding a little bit. Like it feels like a very quiet power, and I think that's kind of the nice. Like the dragonfly is like that too. Like it's a very it's powerful, but in a very subtle way. And this pink, that pink and orange, it's just so vibrant. It feels like our creativity, our creative energies, and whew. Yeah, I think that so like with that grounding too, and I know that it's like doesn't, I mean, it doesn't always have to, it works however you want it to work now, but it feels like, yeah, activating like through grounding or through connecting with the earth, or feeling that whatever this brown is for you, like that deep maybe root chakra kind of thing, activating the sacral chakra, that orange, and kind of that fire coming up from there. It's like a fiery dragon, but it's like this pink, passion, like, yeah. But yet, like down in it, coming out of the earth. Karen says the yellow hand looks like it should be either untying a knot or holding something. Yeah, I feel like it's interesting that you mention it now too, because I was feeling this was kind of like a dragon or something, and it was maybe like feeding it or something. But look at these lines that are coming through. It's almost like it's holding, yeah, it's holding something, or it's doing something. It's doing something. I'm gonna add some more to this dragon down here, and we'll see what it says. It's funny that you mentioned koi earlier too, because I almost feel like this dragon, the way that I'm painting it, it almost feels like a koi, like a golden koi, or let's see. I'm hearing like fly, dragon fly, but it's like in the mud down here, so it's, let's see what happens with it. Alright, well, let's see. I feel like I want to add some orange to the hue. I feel like this feeling of expanding, since I gave my attention to the dragon down there, I feel like it expanded up here. Even though it didn't really move, like it's just kind of down in there, I feel like it allowed other things to move. It gave me a little bit more clarity about what's to happen with the dragonfly. I feel pulled here, although I'm not 100% yet, what's going to happen with that hand. I'm feeling it more. I'm feeling drawn to it more. And I feel like that's kind of what, so looking at this month ahead, with that dragon, kind of going deep and pulling up that energy, although it may not, like, you know, sometimes the work we do, we don't see the results with what we're working on. Oh yeah, maybe he's taking a mud bath. Yeah. He's just like kind of happy now that I say that. I'm like, oh yeah, he's like up to his neck in mud. Like, I like it. But sometimes that work we do, what I was saying is, we see it in other areas as opposed to just, you know, where we're at. And I'm kind of feeling this. It's almost like a big rock right there, where that it's like. I'm gonna add this brown to the hand, and maybe it'll show me what it's holding. What you got there? And this little guy is curious about it too. It's almost um, like a dog, like it's like a dragon, but it's like befriended. It's very intense too. And again, the same as the dragonfly, like I'm not feeling the like it's necessary to do the wings just yet. Like I feel like they're flying and they have wings, but it doesn't feel urgent or like it's time to do the wings. So focus on the body. That's what I just heard. So that could be kind of, you know, especially for anyone who's wanting to make changes this month, focusing on the body, because that's kind of like the body mind, doing meditations that get into the body first, access the subconscious in order to change our thoughts and our beliefs. It's like a little leg. It's a little drumstick leg kind of thing. I'm kind of digging this guy. All right. It's like a dinosaur kind of dragon or something. Multicolored dinosaur dragon. And I feel like the wing connects over here with that eye. And I really like Karen says, you're supposed to make sure you're grounded before you take new things on. All right, I like that. Pink flames on the top of the dragon head. Both look and felt like small beings. Yeah, like it's all pieces. That's what it kind of felt like. It's just like little pieces that are kind of coming out. Maybe that's what these two are coming off of. This kind of like the dragon as earth, kind of manifesting little aspects. Oh, and I was saying like the scale is interesting to me too. The scale of dragon. Is the dragon little and the dragon, or is the dragonfly really big? That blue. Okay, so that blue of this child's, partly it's going to be that. Kind of blended with that brown. It's interesting. It's like became the eyelid, like it's her eyes, partly this wing. And so what I, in my head, I'll say, what's that about? And I just received like, just don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. So that's the message. Like, just don't worry about it. Just enjoy watching the discovery of things and let it unfold. That's what I'm hearing. Let it unfold. It'll be just right. And this one, this wing is straighter. And what's interesting is I tend to look at the two sides. I look at the right side as more like the kind of like the linear, representing more of the linear aspects of life, and the left side being more of the creative or intuitive side. And so it kind of makes sense, like as this dragon's energy moves onto the linear side, the lines become straighter, more kind of rigid in a way. It kind of feels a little bit more rigid, whereas this wing is kind of like flowing. He's still pretty transparent, which is an interesting thing. Very much like the dragonfly's wings. If we end up painting the wings on the dragonfly, are usually very transparent. Okay. And so now that I feel like I can move this yellow, which is relating to our personal will, I can move that down into the body more. Up until the wings went in, it felt like the body was just kind of overcome with emotion. And so I guess, going in and defining or recognizing even that we have wings, or maybe not even defining it, but I guess defining something is the same as how we give meaning, right? So giving meaning or defining or acknowledging our wings will move that personal will into the body and will make things happen. And now it starts to kind of match this. And it feels a lot more, what's the word I'm looking for? Coherent? Yeah, coherent, like it's all one body now, instead of just a head with like this body that's all emotion. I'm still here, Teal. I'm glad you made it. There's more. Oh, what am I missing? Karen said something. Oh, Toby, your radio name. I didn't know you were on the radio. That's cool. Oh, do you mean like CB radio? Karen says the dragon wing is shielding her eye from seeing something she shouldn't see. Ooh, interesting. The dragon. I'm a dragon in the Chinese zodiac. I love dragons. Love, love, love them. As a matter of fact, I have a little. Where is it? This is my studio dragon. My little mascot. Maybe that needs to be here. There we go. It's interesting. So I wonder if there's like some anger or something, because clenched fist too, it almost is feeling like a little bit of a clenched fist scenario. I want to bring this pink up in here, some of that love and passion into the... I want my dragon to feel happy. Bring the emotions well, it's interesting. So it's like the body allows us to process our emotions too, but bring them up here, maybe to be spoken. Oh, or like expressed. Express that shit. Express it, don't suppress it. So what I'm seeing too with the dragonfly versus the dragonfly is mostly eyes. It's very observant, and the dragon here feels very much physical and in the body. It definitely feels like a lot of thinking though. Like the first thing I saw was the head. So maybe maybe the hand is holding out an ice cube. Like, cool off, dude. But, enjoy the fire. I don't know. It's creating something. We're such a I want to say, a funky relationship with anger. Like, we just have so much crap around it. I don't even have the words for it. It makes me mad. I feel like like it's undervalued, or we're not taught how to express it properly or use it in our favor. You know, anger it's just another emotion, right? I mean, it's powerful and it can move us out of despair. And as as I'm doing this, I can see this pink right here by her eye. That feels like tears, like despair, right? And it's moving through the dragon and being expressed and becoming something else. I almost feel like it's moving up with this current. It's going in through the blue. See how it's blue right here by her mouth? Self-expression. Let it out, little dragon. Ooh. I can feel that. Can you feel that? It's kind of like I want to take a deep breath and and this isn't the same as like just bitching about things. It's not like that kind of expression. It's like intentional, like intentionally using the breath to like blow that energy and transmute it. And that's why I feel like the orange joins it, and that's creative expression, creating something new. Still coming back to that hand. Let me just check real quick what y'all saying. Agree. Maybe the dragons are here to help release the anger. I think so. I think so. I think it's kind of expressing a couple different things to deal with all these emotions and energies. I will go through. So Tara's asking, do I have a replay for those of us who came on late? Absolutely, yes. So the whole thing, I'll edit the video throughout the month, so you'll get to see a time lapse of the whole thing being painted, and then I'll have the final. When I'm all done here, I'll go through a final analysis too, and then this will become a new oracle card. So whatever the message ends up being, I'll post that with all the final messages. What is in there? Almost like a forest fire down here. It's like this burning. This is fascinating me right here. And I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that in my throat. I'm going to go back to this blue for a second. Just give the blue a little bit to the dragon here. Blue, 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 blue. What number was that? 14. So we saw that diamond shape that was like I don't remember where it was. I think it was like right here. It became the dragonfly. I'm feeling this like maybe a crystal, like this barrel or something. There's so much going on in here. I just, I feel like it's really easy to get distracted too. So that's just something to pay attention to this month. There's like, as I'm working on this green emerald crystal thing, I'm seeing, I'll hold it up so you can see it. I don't want to give it a definition yet, but I don't personally believe in trapped souls. I don't believe that, right? So, but there's something, not in, oh, am I still going? I'm like talking to myself or not? Yeah, I think I am. I think so. But so what I'm seeing right here, I'm gonna hold this up, is like a soul, like I'm seeing two eyes, nose. It feels very. If someone were to say like, if someone were to talk about like trapped souls, that's what that's what it looks like to me. I don't believe it's possible for a soul to be trapped in like the afterlife or anything. That's not part of my belief system. If it's part of your, I mean, no, not saying that I'm right or anything, but it feels like maybe that like is an emphasis on that whole like despair and releasing, and but it also looks equal to this structure. So it feels like making choices on what we focus on. That almost feels like Jack and the Beanstalk kind of feeling too. Am I okay? I think I'm still here. All right. Yeah, so let me know if you can see that in there, because that's what I'm really seeing it. There's a beauty to it, but at the same time I'm like, oh damn, like, oh. So I think there's that. It feels like an invitation to make choices in what we focus on is really like what it comes down to. And the possibility of releasing and choosing magics. This feels like a path. There's a lot like going in. Again, these like diamond shaped structures and gems, and I'm at a loss for words, and that's telling me just to kind of like chill till I get all the images on. So I'm gonna just paint for a while. Let's see what it. Burn it away. That's what I'm hearing. Like just burn it all away. Let it all go, and then that's where you'll start to see that new growth. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is Queen Anne's lace. Is anybody familiar with Queen Anne's lace? Let's see if I can. And I don't remember. I know I've looked at the symbolism of what, you know, what Queen Anne's lace represents. I can't remember, but if anybody wants to look that up and share that, that would be great. All right, I feel like I want to move to this blue right here. Oh, but before I do that, okay. Blue, 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 blue. Hey, I love Queen Anne's lace. I don't know if y'all are in a place where that grows, but it's so pretty. I mean, it's just this wild, like, I don't know. Odessa says it represents sanctuary. Oh, nice, nice, nice. I want that makes sense too. Like sanctuary for the soul. Like in that's it almost feels like a tower. That's what I was feeling, like this path leading up to it too. I like that. All right, let's give you some wings, little dragonfly. Where do your wings go? Where do your wings come from? Gosh. Like go all the way across. Well, that's a, that was, drawing a line across your artwork like that can be, I don't even know the word, intimidating or scary or, and I feel like that, like I want to share that because I feel like that's part of the message is drawing lines, maybe boundaries, redefining some things, like because these lines are redefining what everything that's in it. It's kind of creating these little compartments. It's, you know, it's going over. It might be going over something that I worked hard to paint before. So creating the structures and boundaries in our lives is the same feeling. It's it can be very intimidating and scary, but I really feel like in the long run this is going to create beauty. And then it's going to be okay. I like it. And it goes again over her eye. So it's like this, it's like a softening of the dragon's wings, although they're still there. Oh, and it goes right into that face we were seeing on the side here, right into the eyes and nose. It's like sensing area. So I'm going to go in. So what I like to do right at the last thing I do is I go in with black and white and I define a little bit more. And then we're just about done and we'll go through the analysis of it. I definitely feel inner child for sure. It's funny, as I just said that, like, my nose got stuffed up, which reminds me of like little kids and their noses. Why are little kids' noses always stuffed up? But anyway, like, I just felt like that little, like, yeah, it's inner child. It does. It feels vulnerable and like, yeah, there's all kinds of emotions. There's a lot going on. But it feels playful and vulnerable at the same time. It's quite wonderful. Let's see. So I'm really feeling Dragonfly is going to get the most emphasis, I think. September's looking like a pretty fun, eventful month ahead so far. I feel like putting these diamond shapes in the dragonfly. Bringing them back in. That diamond, so it's basically, you know, a square. The squares in general represent stability, foundation, that kind of thing. So this dragonfly feels very much in alignment with that feeling of stability and foundation, but kind of in a more magical way. Turned on its side, redefining what that means. And that's what I was feeling too with the whole grounding thing. Like, I think we've redefined what grounding means in general, and I think maybe we're redefining what stability and foundation and security, you know, when things are really changey, I think it's a good thing to kind of redefine what does that mean to feel stable when things are constantly changing. Oh, that's interesting. So maybe it is like so I'm feeling with this soul here, I'm gonna have to post it, or if anybody wants to look up. One of my favorite artists is Kathy. I can't think names when I'm painting. She was a German expressionist, and she did a lot of charcoal, and she did a drawing of a mother holding her child. It's just it's gut-wrenching. It's absolutely beautiful, but I can't get her last name. But this figure right here reminds me so much of her work. Now, since Becky, you said maybe a lost child, um, and I read that as a loss of a child, and that kind of just that anguish. There's something about this little kernel back in here that feels like that, and I'll have to why can't I think of her name? It's gonna preoccupy my mind. I have to let it go, but it'll come back. So I'll share that, and you'll see what I mean, because it looks very much like one of her drawings. One of my favorites, which is, it's a super sad, like, gut-wrenching piece, but it's just absolutely beautiful. So even that loss, and even that, oh, there's so much beauty in the world, and that's what I feel too. We've got all these beautiful colors. There's so much going on. There's so much beauty. It's wonderful. All right, what else needs emphasis? I'm feeling like the dragonfly is a big piece. I feel like the dragonfly is really about like rising up above all of the other stuff. I do want to emphasize this dragon's eye right here. Again with that diamond shape. Really like that. This towering emerald. I feel like there's some more over here. Some more crystals or something. I was seeing a face, but yeah, and they're this interesting kind of like pencil point. What do you call it? Anybody know their crystal point things? Somebody's got to be watching that knows that stuff. I can't remember what that shape is. Yeah, that feels like a bunch of, like a crystal formation over here too. Alright, now what? Oh, it's blocking my messages. Is that what it's called? Kathy Colwitz. Yes, Odessa. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, she's my favorite. And so if you missed it, I was saying that this figure that's hiding in here, let's see if it'll, right? That reminds me very much of Kathy Colwitz work. It's so visceral, and that's what we're talking about, like the body and those feelings of having things in, of your emotions being in the body. So emphasize these eyes. And the wingtips. Almost there, and then I'll go through the whole thing. We'll look, kind of recap. And so the replay, and so I'll edit, and you get to watch, like, you can watch last month's now too. It's on Patreon. It's also on my YouTube channel. The whole time lapse of the painting, you know, like condense this. What are we doing? Like an hour and a half or whatever. I've gone long with this one. I'll condense it into like a 5-minute. I'll try to get it down to like 2 minutes is usually what I do. And it looks like I drank a lot of coffee before I started painting. And then I'll also post just the recap, which I'm about to start in a second. So you'll be able to watch that on it. It'll be available on Patreon, the link's above. It'll also be available on YouTube, and then of course on my page. So I love that these little, like, I'm gonna do my best to make these actually like Queen Anne's lace. Yeah, be close. Anybody fans of the Dark Crystal? I've liked it when I was a kid, and then I tried to watch it again, and it was, I don't know what happened. Maybe my attention span is different or something. I was just like, what? Yeah, it was kind of sad. So part of, I think we do sometimes kind of mourn the loss of our own childhood, and some of these things too. But again, with these evergreens, like, it's interesting because they're kind of like in this forest fire. So maybe that's part of what's going on. It's kind of like there's so much change happening. There could be a process of mourning some of that, and I think it's important to honor that, and that's what we see. All right, I'm feeling like it's pretty finished. So I'm going to go through and just do the full analysis now. I want to see what y'all say. Let me just read some of your comments real quick. Thank you. Hey, Patty. Becky, yeah, it's, this original is not going to be for sale. I'm actually giving it away to, at the end of the month, I do a drawing. So like last month, this was the painting, and I gave this one away. I just drew the name for it. So you can join my Patreon for $11 a month. You get entered into the drawing, plus you get, this is going to become an Oracle card, and you get discounts on everything. So yeah, there'll be some prints available too, I think. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I haven't gotten that far. But the original gets given away to a member of my Patreon community. So, all right. So let me just go through this real quick. There's a lot going on. We started with a ton of color, lots and lots of color, and I feel like this month there's like a ton of emotion, lots of change. And the biggest thing that I was feeling from this, so we've got the dragon that's down in the mud down here. This is like grounding and like getting kind of getting rooted in there. And when I started working on that, then I came back up to this dragon here, and this dragon was all head and no body. So when I added the body, the yellow came into the body. So it was like feeling into the body was, and this too, it's just all head. And so it's like getting into the body to feel our emotions, allowing that to come up. And as soon as I did that, look, this is what happened. Remember, like all the emotions, it was like as soon as I painted all this, it was just immediate. And I said, I got, this hand looked clenched, like angry. This eye looks kind of angry. And so what I was feeling right in here was like this expression of just letting the anger out. And when we feel, change can make us angry. It's like grieving. Whenever we go through major changes, it's very similar to like grief. And anger is very much part of the grieving process. There's nothing wrong with it. And I think it just gets a bad rap. It gets us out of anger, it's the next feeling up the ladder from despair. And I think that's what this figure came from. This little shadow kind of, that's despair. And that feels like the heart. And so it's like, you know, the earth and these crystals, kind of the pressure, it's like radiating out, coming up. And what it became, as it came, we waited for a long time for this hand to show something in it or to tell us what it was about. And as soon as this expressed, after we worked through that Queen Anne's lace, which I think Odessa, someone was saying it represents sanctuary. And I'll look through too, and I'll post that. I'll do a full write-up too. But so one of the aspects of the Queen Anne's lace is that it's sanctuary. This feels like sanctuary. This feels like healing. I'm sure it's used for medicinal purposes too. It'd be interesting to look into the specifics of how it's used. And it's like healing comes after it, like churns and comes out. It goes through these crystals. It creates, the fire creates, and pressure and all that creates these crystals. It lights them up. And I think the very first image that we saw was this dragonfly here. And I love that there's like dragons and dragonfly. Dragonfly says to me, rise above it. But we can't really rise above stuff if we're like not processing it. It's not, that's just denial. So we gotta rise above it, and what I mean by that is see it as a big picture. I don't know, maybe I did the dragonfly then, I don't know. I think I started with the eye. I'll have to go back and look. But there are so many faces in here. There's so many faces in here. And I was drawn to this larger one here, and it feels like this is her whole head. And so it's like choosing the big picture perspective. Oh no, I covered it up with Queen Anne's lace. I didn't even realize that. So when I did the anger coming out of here, I noticed, oh, it's like under her eyes, like this pink. It's like this passionate it could be related to like, I want to live my passion so bad, and it's not, I want things to change. I want this, I want that. Your desires, your passions and your desires and the frustration, that could, you know, get angry, express it, write it, let it out, feel it in your body and let it out. Don't just feel it in your body and like stifle it or eat it away or run to, you know, I mean, running's not bad, but, you know, like just express it and let it change into a healing salve, you know, let yourself move through it. And I'm seeing like a lot of heart energy too, a lot of that heart mixed with the that self-expression too. But I was feeling air, and remember there's like lungs too, is like breathing life into things. There's a whole lot going on. I feel like September is really going to be a lot of change. I feel like perspective is really important. And I'm going to look into this too, because I feel like there's a very specific, message about how we can use this energy to heal. And I'll post a bunch of things too, so you can find that all in on Patreon. It'll be all on Patreon if you're a patron, but then I'll also post some stuff in the group, in the page too. Yeah, so this one's going to be a new card, and I'll share the message of that. I got to sit with it a little bit more. Lots going on. September is going to be interesting. I'm excited for it. And again, what I was feeling when I first started was that it started out slow and then gained momentum and then whoosh. So it's kind of like fire. You know, it starts out this little bit and then it takes over. So do it intentionally, you know, control that, and, you know, harness that fire energy, harness that, you're passionate, whether it's frustration or anger, whatever you're feeling, harness that and do it, express it intentionally so that you could heal yourself, and heal, in healing yourself, you're healing everything, right? There we go. So that is our intuitive painting for the month of September. Thank you all so much for joining me. I'm absolutely in love with this. I'm going to take I think there's a minute or two of daylight left. I might be able to get a good high def picture. I'll post it in the group. And we'll go from there. Let me know what you think. I'll post it. I want to see what else you see in it. I'm still seeing stuff in it. There's more faces. There's a little crescent moon and a star. Yeah. So I'll post that so y'all can take a look. Have a great night. Thank you again. Well, let's see if I can figure this out. Good night, all.